Flight 80 was a scheduled cargo flight from Guangzhou, China, to Narita International Airport, Japan, operated by a McDonnell Douglas MD-11F. On March 23, 2009, the aircraft tragically crashed while attempting to land in adverse weather conditions at Narita. Strong gusty winds and potential wind shear led to a hard landing, causing the aircraft to bounce and subsequently lose control. It overturned, erupted into flames, and was completely destroyed. Both pilots on board, Captain Kevin Mosley and First Officer Anthony Pino, lost their lives in the accident. This incident highlighted the challenges of landing large aircraft in turbulent conditions and underscored the risks associated with the MD-11's unique handling characteristics.
Terrain.
100, 50, 30, 20.
Northwest Airlines Flight 255 was a domestic flight from Detroit Metropolitan Airport to Phoenix, Arizona, on August 16, 1987. The tragedy struck when the McDonnell Douglas MD-82 failed to take off properly, crashing shortly after leaving the runway. The accident was attributed to the crew's failure to configure the flaps and slats for takeoff, compounded by the lack of a warning system. The crash killed 154 of the 155 people on board and 2 people on the ground, leaving a sole survivor, a 4-year-old girl named Cecilia Sicken. This accident remains one of the deadliest aviation disasters in U.S. history. American Airlines Flight 77 was a domestic passenger flight hijacked on September 11, 2001, as part of the coordinated terrorist attacks on the United States. The Boeing 757-223 was en route from Washington Dulles International Airport to Los Angeles International Airport when it was overtaken by hijackers. The aircraft was deliberately crashed into the Pentagon, causing immense destruction and claiming the lives of all 64 on board and 125 individuals at the Pentagon. This tragic event remains a significant part of the September 11th attacks, reshaping global security policies.
In the early hours of January 21, 1985, Galaxy Airlines Flight 203 embarked on what was supposed to be a routine charter flight from Reno, Nevada. The Lockheed L-188 Electra, carrying 65 passengers and crew, never reached its destination. Just moments after takeoff, the plane began to experience severe instability caused by an improperly secured maintenance panel on the engine, leading to a catastrophic loss of control. Within minutes, the aircraft plummeted to the ground, erupting into flames upon impact. The tragedy claimed the lives of 70 people, leaving behind a trail of devastation and raising questions about overlooked safety measures.
Yes, sir, we'd like to make a left down. Got a heavy vibration in the aircraft.
Galaxy 203, roger. Maintain VFR and left downwind for runway 16 right. And do you need the equipment?
Affirmative.
Roger. How many people on board and same amount of fuel remaining?
68 now. We got 12 fuel.
68 people and 1,200 pounds of fuel.
The
PK-8303 Karachi crash occurred on May 22, 2020, when Pakistan International Airlines (PIA) Flight 8303, an Airbus A320, crashed into a residential area near Karachi's Jinnah International Airport. The flight, carrying 99 passengers and crew from Lahore to Karachi, attempted to land but aborted the approach after encountering issues with the landing gear. During the second attempt to land, both engines lost power, causing the plane to crash into a densely populated neighborhood. Tragically, 97 people on board lost their lives, while 2 passengers survived with injuries.
On December 14, 1990, Alitalia Flight 112, a routine flight from Milan to Catania, tragically ended in disaster shortly after takeoff. The aircraft experienced a catastrophic failure in its left engine, which quickly led to a loss of control. As smoke filled the cockpit and fire spread, the crew struggled to stabilize the plane and attempted an emergency return to Milan. Despite their best efforts, the aircraft was losing altitude rapidly. In the final moments before impact, the pilot's chilling last words were heard over the radio. "We are going down." The plane crashed in a field outside Milan, killing all 43 people on board.
V1.
Bank angle, bank angle, bank angle, bank angle, bank angle, bank angle.
On March 31, 1995, Tarim Flight 371, an Airbus A310 en route from Bucharest to Brussels, suffered a devastating crash shortly after takeoff from Odopini International Airport. The aircraft began to climb but unexpectedly veered off course, with one engine reducing power due to a thrust lever anomaly. The captain, suffering from a medical emergency, was unable to respond, leaving the first officer overwhelmed by the rapidly deteriorating situation. The plane lost control and crashed into a field near Balatesti, tragically killing all 60 passengers and crew on board. The incident remains one of Romania's deadliest aviation disasters, highlighting critical flaws in automation and cockpit dynamics.
1. Egypt Airways 201. The plane took off from New York at 1:19 a.m. bound for Cairo, Egypt. 33 minutes later, after attaining an altitude of 33,000 feet, it was observed on radar in an extremely rapid descent. The aircraft was observed in a 66-degree dive at 483 knots. The descent continued to 16,700 feet, after which the aircraft climbed to 24,000 feet. After that, the plane began a second dive and broke up at around 10,000 feet, crashing into the Atlantic Ocean, 60 miles southeast of Nantucket Island. The accident was caused by the relief first officer's flight control inputs, which caused the airplane's departure from normal cruise flight and subsequent impact with the Atlantic Ocean. One could conclude the actions were deliberate in an attempt to commit suicide.
In the early hours of January 21, 1985, Galaxy Airlines Flight 203 embarked on what was supposed to be a routine charter flight from Reno, Nevada. The Lockheed L-188 Electra, carrying 65 passengers and crew, never reached its destination. Just moments after takeoff, the plane began to experience severe instability caused by an improperly secured maintenance panel on the engine, leading to a catastrophic loss of control. Within minutes, the aircraft plummeted to the ground, erupting into flames upon impact. The tragedy claimed the lives of 70 people, leaving behind a trail of devastation and raising questions about overlooked safety measures.
Yeah, sir, we'd like to make a left downwind. Got a heavy vibration in the aircraft.
Galaxy 203, roger. Maintain VFR and left downwind for runway 16 right. And do you need the equipment?
Affirmative.
Roger. How many people on board and same amount of fuel remaining?
68 now, we got full fuel.
68 people and 1,200 pounds of fuel.
On June 26, 1988, Air France Flight 296Q, an Airbus A320, crashed during a low-altitude flyover at the Habsheim Air Show. The aircraft struck treetops and crashed into a forest, bursting into flames. 3 passengers died, while others escaped with injuries. Investigators blamed pilot error and delayed response. The chilling footage of the crash remains one of aviation's most shocking moments.
200. Ok, il y a la chance qui est là. Regarde. 200. Ok, je vais bien. Débranchez le commandant. Ok, faites attention à ce pylône devant vous. Le vent? Ouais, ne t'inquiète pas. Posez à SRS. Faire le tour de la piste.
In April 2012, a team of scientists and television producers conducted a groundbreaking experiment by deliberately crashing a Boeing 727 in the Mexican desert. The aircraft, designated XBMNP, was remotely piloted into the ground to study the impact on its structure and the crash test dummies inside. This experiment provided valuable insights into passenger survivability during aviation accidents.
Wow! It's not some just kind of nonsense here. Never mind, trust me. No, we are stalling. Then what are we going to do now? Guys, you have to brace for this.
The Airbus A380, known for its impeccable safety record, had never faced a major accident until Qantas Flight 32 on November 4, 2010. Shortly after takeoff from Singapore, an engine exploded mid-air, sending debris into the wing, causing fuel leaks and system failures. Despite cascading warnings, the crew heroically stabilized the aircraft and safely landed back in Singapore. All 469 on board survived. As tension filled the cabin, the captain calmly reassured passengers, "We have a technical issue. We are returning to Singapore."
I apologise. I'm sure you are aware we have a technical issue with our number 2 engine. We have dealt with the situation at the moment. The aircraft is secure at this stage. We're going to have to hold for some time whilst we do lighten our load by dumping some fuel and a number of checklists we have to perform. But as you can, I'm sure you are aware, we're not proceeding to Sydney at this stage. We're making our left turn now to track back towards Singapore. And as we progress with this, we'll keep you informed. At this stage, everything is secure. The aircraft is flying safely, and we'll get back to you very shortly with further information. Thank you for your patience.
On May 24, 1988, TACA Flight 110 was en route from Belize City to New Orleans when it encountered a severe thunderstorm during its final approach. Both engines suffered flameouts due to water ingestion, leading to a complete loss of power. Captain Carlos Dardano and his crew executed an emergency landing on a grass levee adjacent to NASA's assembly facility in eastern New Orleans. Remarkably, all 45 occupants survived without serious injuries, and the aircraft sustained only minor damage. In the tense final moments, the cockpit voice recorder captured the captain's calm command, "Prepare for an emergency landing."
Mayday, Okay, Mayday, Packer 110. We lost an engine.
I understand you have lost an engine, is that correct?
Both engines, sir. Both engines.
Understand both engines.
I'm the current emergency here. I don't have any engines, okay? Any engines. We glide them down, okay?
Understand you're gliding down, Packer 110, roger.
I don't think that I will make it. So I guess we have to go down. We have to go down